welcome back to another video of jPlay. I am Marcus and today I'm doing a walkthrough of Free Market. This one has been provided to me by Unique Board Games. They also did Hero Path. I think I did a playthrough for that one too. This is a totally different game. I believe I saw this in Essen and I was really interested. So I was actually pretty glad that they reached out to me asking me, hey, do you want to do a whatever walkthrough, playthrough video of Free Market? We played this in the family now also several times. And despite the looks, some of the stuff looks a little bit odd. We really like it. I'm not sure if I will be able to do a full playthrough of this one because it doesn't really make sense. It has a lot of auctioning, bidding, take that and whatnot. So I think I will rather do a walkthrough video. But again, I will let you decide. So yeah, let's see how things go, shall we? Okay, and here we are. This is the setup for the 3-player game. One thing that I really like about this game, this board is double-sided. So it has a side for 2 to 3 players and it has a side for 4 to 5 players. So no need to cover up any spaces. Of course, there are also some spaces here which are only available in a 3-player game, but overall, this works pretty well. This game also comes with, let's see, some choices or options on how to play it. The first thing is the game length. So the game recommends you when you start the game to play 4 rounds. We find 5 rounds is the minimum, but in this walkthrough, I think I will play 4 rounds. Again, not 100% sure if I will do a full walkthrough playthrough or not. Let's see about that. But again, I will do a 4-player game, a 4-round game. Usually, again, you might want to consider playing 5 or maybe even 6 rounds. Another optional add-on are those stocks here. I decided to also play with the stocks involved. It's really not a huge change in respect to the rules, but give you at least some more options or some more choices to go for. So we are also playing with those stocks. And last but not least, we have the so-called career cards here. The way how this normally works, you draw 6 cards, you take 2 out of those 6, and these are the career cards for your game. There's also a drafting option available, which is, I believe, the standard option. But yeah, then you really have to know the game well. You also have to know the cards pretty well. So in this case, I more or less assigned 2 of these cards to each of the players. So here is the 2 cards for the blue player, the road contractor and the real estate broker. At the start of the game, he starts with a worker. Normally we don't have a worker. And whenever he's basically establishing or overtaking a roadblock, he's allowed to add 1 worker to the roadblock from the supply. That's definitely never a bad thing. The real estate broker, he starts the game with 1 shop or factory, which is really huge. And this is where I think some of those cards may be a little bit more powerful than the others. But yeah, I think it's too early for me to decide if I would call those unbalanced. I really don't know that yet. Shop and factory on you. Normally you get 3 coins, I believe, for each shop or factory. In this case, yeah, the owner or the real estate broker gets 4. The red player is the insurance agent. When a shop or factory is taken from you, which happens or can happen quite often, actually, collect 1 coin from the supply. And when a roadblock is taken from you, collect 2 coins from the supply. And maybe I should mention that coins or money in this game are also the victory points at the end of the game. So yeah, basically giving you immediate victory points. So what this player can do, the red player, is maybe ignore to protect their property because he knows, hey, if you take it from me, I still get some coins from you, which again is never a bad thing. And then we have the factory worker here at the start of the game, collect 1 coin. Normally each player starts with 12 coins. The last player gets 13. And once per round, beginning at round 1. At stage 2, collect 1 coin plus 1 strike. Strikes are amazing because, yeah, in theory, if someone takes the shop away, he can place a strike on that shop that has been taken away from this player. And yeah, then this other player cannot use the shop accordingly. So that's pretty much a very nice combo. And last but not least, we have the event producer. I have no clue what an event producer is, but let's not think about this too much. You are entitled to a 1 coin discount on a winning auction bid. That's cool. So if he bids 10, he only has to pay 9. But he pays no more than 11 coins in total, even if you bid higher. So in theory, every round he could say, I bid 20 or 50 or whatever. He's never paying more than 11. That's pretty insane, actually. And then we have the mover here, but to be honest, bidding 11 is already something. Sometimes, yeah, there are some goods out there which are cool, but this is a very, very strong card, I feel. Then we have the mover at the start of the game, collect 1 hidden crate plus 1 coin. So he's the last player, so he gets 14 instead of 12, so plus 1 because he's last and this extra coin, and he gets 1 extra hidden crate. So these crates, I will not show those to you, they come in 7 different colors. I will look at that in a second. And yeah, normally you start with 2, he starts with 3. And at the end of the game, collect 1 additional coin per crate you own. I think at the end of the game, each crate you still have is worth 2 points. For him, that's 3. And obviously, there's a whole pile of other different career cards in that deck. Really makes for a hell of a lot of replayability, actually. I think I like this a lot. Again, I have to play with those career cards a little bit more often to really see if they are overpowered. Again, by reading some of those, and I only played once with those cards, and this was okay, so I didn't feel there was anything broken in it. But when I read some of those right now, I might consider them broken. But again, in this game, a lot of ways lead you to victory. So I think that's really something where you really have to play the game more than once, twice or 3 times even, to really start understanding the nuances in this game, to really say, hey, first I really thought those politicians, they were overpowered and unbalanced and whatnot. But then in the end, we figured out, I think it already in 2 or 3 player more or less ignored those politicians, but still won. So apparently I was wrong with my first assumptions. In respect to the rules, I had some struggles with that, which was not the case with Hero Path, for example. But these rules really were kind of confusing, but a great guy really helped me out from Unique Board Games and yeah, explained me at least some of the unclarity. So I think I have a good grasp on the game right now. Apologies if I'm messing something up, but that's the usual thing, like I always do with these kind of games. And I think with that being said, let's get started. I already have set the final pricing for all of those wares. So we have brown, the antiques here, jewelry, I don't know what these are, furniture, maybe clothing or textiles, tools, whatever they are, do not really matter. Blue resources, purple resources, that's all you need to know. There is really an explanation for all of these in the rules, but let's not care too much about those. And yeah, there's a cool mechanic. So you're rolling this die and then you determine if this moves to the left or to the right, and then you change the pricing cube for each of those resources. Pretty neat, actually. I already did that, so this is what you see here. So for example, the purple goods in this row, and right now it's only in this row, there are purple goods, so they are pretty much worth 6 instead of the base price of 3. The base price is referenced in the game more than once, so when you go to some locations you can only pay for the base price. It's also important for the auction because that's the minimum bid, for example. But I think let's not get ahead of myself, let's simply start the game. As I already prepared everything during my setup, we can pretty much skip to stage 2. We are also skipping stage 2 in this very first round, so we are immediately moving to stage 3, which is pretty much the auction step. Now the first player, in this case red with this nice starting player marker here, will make the first bid. And right now, these are the containers that are basically available. A player now has to make a choice. He can also, or she's a she can now decide to say, I don't want to do a starting bid. She's still not out of the auction round, so she can still bid on other players, but then she would forfeit her right to pick a container on which to bid on or start bidding on. And which container to go for is really dependent on which starting cubes you drew. Keep in mind each player starts with 2 random cubes. It also is dependent on the prices of those commodities. So in this case, orange is worth 9 if you're selling it to this shop down here. So that's pretty much the price. Plus 2, this is in the so-called additional fee. So you take whatever on the diameter plus the base price plus this. This is then really the final price. And so in this case, orange is 9. And yeah, that's pretty much how you make your choice. So here we have an 8. This worth is 7. So pretty much this row here down there is definitely interesting. If you now look at the containers down there, there aren't any orange cubes and there aren't any red cubes. So maybe one of the best bets could be, for example, the yellow one. But she could also say, let's start with a cheap cube, because there are ways in order to mess with the pricing in the market. So maybe going for a brown group, which is an antique. Antique are always nice because you can sell them everywhere. But I still feel maybe this could be her best bet moving forward. Again, you don't have to sell it right now or in this round. You can also wait for a future round to go for. But this will also be not cheap, because your base price or the minimum bid is this cube here. So let's say you're building for the container with 3 blue boxes down there. The minimum bid would be 6. And if you have a purple and a blue, it's still 6. If you have green and a purple, it's 7. So that's the minimum bid you have to call for. So interesting. I think she will bid, and yeah, why not? Let's simply bid for this container number 1. So we will call it out for action. She has to do the first bid on this, and then it's really a wild auction. Everyone can chime in. It's not really going around the table and you have to pass. It's really a wild kind of auction style, so whatever, everyone can chime in at any point in time. So I think the base price that she has to bid is a 7, because that's what says on the market meter. She will start with an 8, for example, and now basically everyone else can chime in. Of course, you can now decide if you want to give it too cheap to other players, or if you really want to mess with it. In this case, I think yellow gets discount. Yellow says, I'm bidding 9. I start with more money, that's fine. And then all the other players can chime in, and it goes back and forth. And red will say, no, I will bid 10. And I think in this case, yellow will say, yeah, let's go for it. You can bid 10. So in this case, she has won her first bid. So she has to pay the 10. This goes back to the bank. Usually I would not play with these kind of coins, but that's what comes with the game. No, that's only 7. Already starting to cheat here. And now she can decide if she wants to spend another 2 coins, because that's the bonus that says here, to basically get a blind draw out of the back. So you get a commodity relatively inexpensive. So 2 is definitely always a low price. The minimum price for these resources is always a 3. So if she is now extremely lucky, she gets something good. And I think let's go for it. So she will bid for this. She will draw 1 from the cube. We will not show that to you, and we'll put that behind her player screen. And that's pretty much the first auction. Now I think I always play this round, so we will have the blue player make the next pick in what to get. And sometimes it's a good idea not bidding on anything, because you start with some goods and sometimes the goods are really perfect. But as I really want to play with one of the players openly, this is the display for the blue players. So everyone starts with 3 manager with a truck. These are the random resources. Those are the award politician discs. And because of this, I think the road contractor, he starts with his extra worker here. He's a little bit smaller than those managers apparently. And these are the 12 bucks we are starting the game with. So he starts with a green and a red. Red is pretty nice. The green, not so much, but he can make something out of that. So this could be a good strategy. So we might want to bid for either this or that. I'm tending towards the brown here, the antiques, because again, the antiques can be sold everywhere, which is a good thing. So the base price is a 4. The antiques, oh, that's 9. Now, that's pretty expensive. Let's go for this one instead. Let's take the blue one. So that's a 3 plus a 4. So the minimum bid is again a 7. We will start with 7. That's fine. All the other players can chime in. We know that red is pretty much out of cash. Cannot bid anything to that. And yellow, does he care about it? Actually, yellow does. Yellow bids 8. And blue thinks, there's another green out there. He says, no, I'm out. Which means yellow now has won the bid here. Yellow pays 1 less, so that's only a 7. That's a pretty good auction for the yellow player. I think yellow will also pay an additional 2 coins now in order to get a blind draw. I will put that behind the player screen accordingly, so this money is gone. And then it's time for yellow to start bidding, and yellow is pretty broke, so he will pass. But this goes on. It's not that everyone has one chance. We can bid as long as there are containers, or start bidding as long as there are containers out there. So again, it's blue, and I think in this case, yeah, he will go for the, that's 4.9. Yeah, I think he will pay the 9 for those containers here. I think, will he spend another 2? Yeah, why not? I think this is never a bad thing. So we have taken these 2, and then we are drawing one. I will show this to you, and that's another yellow. I mean, yellow is not bad. That's definitely a valuable resource or commodity out there. Definitely nice. And it's back to, I think, the red player to choose another auction. Oh, it was a red player. I think red also passed, and it's blue. And this goes round and round until everyone says no. We are passing, and that's that. So then we are moving into the meat of the game, which means we start placing our managers. Each player starts the game with 3 managers. There is a way getting more managers, but you have to pay additional managers. Something to think about. And I guess, yeah, I think red is first. Red is the starting player, so she will go first here. And there's a whole lot of actions that you can do, or where you can place your managers, and we will do them, or we will resolve those actions later on in the order that this blue dude here is moving. This blue dude here is moving. And so again, red goes first, and I think she will go to the infrastructure space. I will explain those actions when we resolve those. Then it's over to blue, and I think we will go to the partnership space, then yellow, and I guess we want to hire some more workers. Back to red. She will go to the air freight space. Blue wants some more money, so you can do something tricky here at the truck sales, and yellow wants to become the starting player. And then the last actions is in most cases relatively clear. At least as long as everyone has the same amount of managers. And that's usually the standard delivery. Doesn't really matter in which order I place them here, because then we will determine the turn order here according to the turn order, which will change now. So now we are resolving those actions. We are moving the pawn here. In most cases, the iconography on this is really amazing. So first of all, yellow will get the starting player marker, a huge one, so we're moving him back behind the player screen. We will oh no, I think not. I think they come back at the end of the game. I think at the end of the round, but doesn't matter. Then we have to place 1 crate into the donation tower, which is a pretty interesting mechanic in this game, as you never exactly know what's in that. So he basically placed a green cube in that, and there is an action on that action board pretty much, which allows you to take all the contents of things. Of course, players who have more, I don't know, memory power than I do, then I think they will be able to track that information, especially over 4 rounds. But at some point in time, it could be definitely worth taking this tower. And there are various ways within the game, or in where not additional stuff gets placed into that tower. So that's pretty much the price you have to pay in order to claim the first player mark. On top of this, yellow is also allowed to claim 2 of those purchase orders, which help you to sell more stuff during the delivery. So those are always great to have. That's already this action. We are moving over to the air freight, which is the red player in this case. So first thing is, red gets a coin. That's definitely a start. He also gets a purchase order and a strike. So that's pretty amazing, actually. So good action for that. And then you get to take 2 out of these 3 actions down here, and you can do them pretty much twice. So you can exchange cubes with the containers down here. You can basically sell some of your cubes for the base price, for example. And I think in this case, for a first action, she's selling 1 of those cubes for the base price, which is 5 for these brown resources here. So we put that behind her player screen. And yeah, the second action you don't have to do 2 apparently. So I think she will pass, will not do the second action here. I think she got some money out of this. She got here these. I think that was definitely a good thing. Then she will go to the infrastructure space. First of all, she collects another 3 coins. That's definitely huge. So 3 victory points, keep that in mind. And then she can build a roadblock. This can be a roadwork here on a street, but also a roadwork here for rails. In this case, she knows blue already has something here. So I guess she wants to build it either here or there. In this case, it's now tough. I think she will place one here. And now immediately you get 1 coin for each of the partnerships that are in this column from the player and an additional coin from the bank. So in this case, blue has to give the last coin to the red player, and on top of this, the bank will also pay you an additional coin for that. So definitely very, very powerful action for her. Whenever a new partnership is formed down here, you again get a coin and another coin, and each roadblock here is, I think, also worth 3 points at the end of the game. Yeah, that's the case. Then it's yellow with the workers action. That's a pretty simple one. So first of all, we are paying 3 coins. These go to the bank. And then yellow is entitled to grab 3 of the workers. You need them later to do takeovers, for example. Additionally, you are allowed to take 1 cube from the bag. That's a hidden one, so no one will see what he drew. And that's already this action here. We are moving over this, and that. So blue will go to the truck sales. At the truck sales, you can do 2 or pretty much 3 stuff. First of all, you can sell a truck for 11 coins, and I think you also get a strike for that. So that's never a bad thing. On top of this, you can also buy a truck and 2 workers for 6 golds. In theory, you can also say, I'm pretty much doing both, which means the truck status doesn't work, but you get the difference here in coins, and on top of this, you get the strike and the workers in this case. So I think that's what you do right now. 1 truck is sufficient for him. I think that's right. Yeah, collecting 5 coins, correct. We are getting 2 extra workers, and we are also collecting a strike. But trucks, or having trucks a little bit later in the game, as of round 2 or 3, is also never a bad thing, and they're also worth 3 points for you at the end of the game. Okay, that was this action here already. No purchase order. We are doing partnerships again. It's the blue player, and because he's the real estate broker, he wants to have as many shops or partnerships as possible at the end of the game, because we are collecting 1 extra coin for that. It's very likely we are losing some along the way, but anyway, we want to go that route. First of all, we are collecting 2 coins for that right on the bat. We are also getting a worker, so he's really strong on workers. That's never a bad thing, and we have some money left. I think that's now also good going into the next round. In theory, I could build one here and here. The problem is we have a red roadblock, so whatever I'm doing here pretty much benefits the red player. I don't want to do that. So maybe, what am I going to sell later on? Interesting. So I think, yeah, we might want to take over, or basically take a partnership with this shop down here. So whoever is selling something here also gives something to the blue player. Also never a bad thing. And if I'm selling myself here, I get the bonus myself. Yeah, I think that's that. We are not doing any gala honoring. This is the way how you add more coins to the tower. You see that icon here, and that's the way how you can play out awards and or politicians. So that's always never a bad thing, but during round 1, I don't know. Let's not do that. Let's go to the standard delivery. We do that in turn order. Right now, yellow will be first, and I think then it's red, and blue is last. I don't like that at all. And we now can deliver up to 2 crates, unless we are also spending some of the purchase orders. For each purchase order, you can sell another crate. But this is also the way how you can take over business. And one thing I forgot, and I apologize, normally you can place those workers to protect your partnerships and or roadblocks with workers. So yeah, I think that double it. So you can spend now or place workers next to your shops and or roadblocks to protect those. Normally you're not allowed to do that when the standard delivery is starting, but let's just assume we did that right after the partnership has been done. So you can really usually do that at any point in time. So Blue has 4 workers, so I think he wants to protect his 2 businesses now. With 2 workers next to a roadblock or to a shop here, there is no way how you can take those over. But Red doesn't have any workers, I believe, right? No, she doesn't. So it's very, very likely that she might lose this road work up there. But it's now Yellow who has to decide. But I think Yellow wants to be peaceful. So she will place her truck here. In theory, you can man this truck with up to 2 meeples. And right now there is no reason not to place 1 meeple here. So she can now make a delivery to this shop here alone. There is nothing to take over, so she can simply sell stuff up there. So yeah, it's interesting. So in this case, yeah, why not? Yellow will sell 2 commodities here, unfortunately. Oh no, that's wrong. Oh, I apologize. Sorry, that's wrong. Blue wants to sell something up here. Yellow wants to sell something up here. I mixed those colors, but doesn't really change a thing. So she can now sell up, or he can now sell up to 2 resources here. This is what he will do. There is no bonus whatsoever because there are no huts on this space. So he simply gets the price. That's currently a 5. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's not bad. Going into the second round, getting $10 is definitely not a bad thing. So those cubes go back to the back, and that's already the end of the delivery action. Again, in theory, he could have moved up here to take over that road work, but I think, yeah, selling some of those cubes sounded like the better idea for the Yellow player. Then it's Red. She wants to actually sell something to the Yellow shop up here. And in case you notice, there's also another Yellow shop up there, but this Yellow shop only has an additional fee of 1, and this one has a +2. So the price here is really a 7. If she, for whatever reason, would have to sell here, she would only get 6 coins for that. So because that's 1 less than that. And that's a little bit confusing. I would have preferred if they would have provided dice for each of those spaces here. And then you don't have to do this calculation with the pluses and minuses, but it's not really that big of a deal in the end. You just have to think about it. So she will sell 2 of those cubes down there, which gives her 14 coins. Now that's something. Now we are talking. So 14 coins for the Red player. She's really doing extremely well. So this goes behind, goes back to the back, and that's already the end of the delivery. And that's also kind of a problem right now. So wherever you have placed your trucks, no one else can go to. Of course, there are ways to use your trucks to move other trucks away, for example, but you have to do that first. You have to have the workers, for example, and whatnot. I really hope I can show this to you, some of those tricky situations. But now it's over to Blue. Blue is out of workers because they're here, and right now I cannot move them away. Once we have passed that standard delivery again, you can reassign your workers. But right now, basically shortly before you start the delivery phase, this is where you have to commit your workers accordingly. In this case, apparently he wanted to protect his business, so I think he will move here with his truck. He will place or will sell 1 red cube and also 1 brown cube. Keep in mind, brown RTX, you can sell them anywhere. The price for the brown cube is 6 and this is 8. So that's 14 coins. But because he has a partnership here, he gets 1 coin from the seller. In this case, that's himself. So he gets that from the bank. So you're never losing stuff. So in this case, that's 2 extra coins he gets from the bank for the whole sale, not 4 cube. So that's 16 coins in total. That's definitely something. So overall, we are definitely making some progress. And again, you need this money to bid for other cubes. Right now, he still has some cubes, but those are very low selling cubes. So those are currently worth only 3. That's a 7. That's not bad. But yeah, overall, that's definitely not a great position to be in. So we have to bid some more cubes or get them any other way. So next we would move to the senior managers, where we could hire stuff, or go to the fundraiser, where you can either take the contents of the tower or take any one action that has already been taken this round. Could be definitely your little parachute actually, but I think it's still time to play any so-called anytime actions, and I think red, being the mean one, will play a strike, and she will play that strike on this factory of the blue player, which means he doesn't get any income at the start of the next round for that. It will go away right after we have dealt with the income phase, but in this case, unfortunately, blue will not benefit that. If he would have bribed a politician, he could have now used the influence of a politician to get rid of the strike. Unfortunately, none of the players currently does have a politician under his control. So that's pretty much the end of the round already. I believe there are no other anytime abilities we are doing. No, we are moving straight into round number 2. First thing to do is to roll for the market prices, and we do that for each of those commodities individually, which can be kind of annoying. So in this case we are going counterclockwise, which means the price for the antique goes back to a 5. It was on 6, but now it's basically 5 plus 0, that's 5. We do the same with the red. Red goes here. Even though it says plus, it does not necessarily mean that the price will always go up. In this case, we move from a +2 to a +1, which means the price goes down. So the base price is now a 6, so 5 plus 1 is 6. But as we are down here, we are moving this to an 8. And I might have done something wrong just now. Was it 7? I think this was at a 9, right? What was it before? I think I messed that one up already. So apologies. But again, it's now really an 8. 6 plus 2, pretty much here is a 6. So maybe the blue player might have gotten 1 extra coin. But yeah, that's okay. I'm only playing against myself. Apparently all of those workers go back to their player. I almost forgot that. Now we'll do all the other prices now off camera. Be right back in a second. And yeah, those are the prices. Heavy drop for blue. I think there was also a minor drop for green. Here it's kind of the same. I think we also dropped somewhat here on the purple price. So yeah, the top row of items, really nothing you want to sell the next round. Despite blue, green. I think green improved by 2. I think that's good. And I think that's it. We will place new containers, or no, crates on the containers. So that's the 1. That's the 2. We are not flushing the others, by the way. We were only replenishing what has been taken. Definitely important. Oh, wow. Okay, these are very, very tasty containers. Not cheap, but definitely great. And I think next we will move into the income phase. And I believe only the blue player would have gotten something from his partnership up here. Unfortunately, this is on strike, so he would have taken 1 cube, and you get 1 cube at the start of each round. That's so huge. But unfortunately, yes, this strike now goes away at the end of this phase. I think none of the other players will do anything now. You could basically recharge your politicians if you have used it, or you would have gained some coins if you would have not have used your politician. In this case, that's also something we can skip. So next we will move into the auction phase, and yellow will be first. And wow, okay, what does yellow have? Does yellow have any interest in some of those cubes? I mean, they're all pretty tasty. This went down. The purple can be nice with the orange and the brown. No, I think he will go, or yeah, he will go with this container here. Again, we will go for the base price. The base price for, that's a 5 plus 5. So that's a 10 actually. So I think in this case, he will pay never that more than 11. Okay, how much money does he have? Also not a hell of a lot of coins actually. So yeah, he didn't really sell well. So in this case, that's now tempting for him. I think he will bid 12. Yeah, let's go with 12. The other players can now chime in. And okay, does he have interest in that? Does he have interest in that? Maybe the other players do. I have to check. Yeah, I think, so 12. Yeah, red bids 13. And I think yellow will pay. Of course, you still have to pay that, be able to pay that. So I think, yeah, yellow has to pass, I believe. Yeah, yellow has to pass, unfortunately. It doesn't never pay more than 11, even if your total bid is higher. So I think he can, yeah, I think he can go up. I think, yeah, he wants it now. He pays 25, whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So yellow has won the bid. He still has to pay no more than 11 coins total, even if you bid higher. So I think 25, that's 11. I think you don't get the discount on the 11 too. I might be wrong here. Apologies for that. Never played with a card, but that's how I played. So he will pay, or basically pay this 11 coins, goes to the bank. So he got this. He could now pay another 2, and he's deciding not to. And then it's over to the red player, who can make her bid. I think she still has this one here too. So that's a 3 plus a 5, that's 8. So she bids 8. Yeah, why not? Blue says, ooh, that's really good. Let's pay 10. And red says, no, then I pay 11. And I think in this case, he said, that's fine, you can go with 11. So she spends the 11. She will also spend another 2. So those go behind her screen. She takes one more cube from the back for that. I'm not showing this to you. And then blue can make the choice. And I think in this case, yeah, I mean, those are not bad here actually. And those are worth 10. Problem is right now, they are not really worth a hell of a lot more actually. So it's also not really great. So maybe, maybe he simply wants to pass this round. Yeah, I think he doesn't want to bid for another auction. Then it's back to the yellow player. The yellow player will pass, and red could say, why not? There are still some tasty guys out there. I think this is not bad. For example, that's a 3 plus a 3. That's only 6. I think, yeah, she will bid 6 for container number 6 down here. And now they're all thinking 6 for 6. No, I think blue will not bid, yellow will not bid, so she will pay 6 for those. Okay, again, that's a winning bid, so she can pay another 2, and I think she will do so to get yet another cube. So I'm pretty sure red will win this game. And yeah, that's the cube she got. Wow, pretty insane. She really has a lot of cubes, and each cube is still worth some points at the end of the game. Even if you're not selling it, you will still make some coins out of it. Apparently she might have paid more than that. And I think then again, everyone can choose to go for another, but I think all the players will not say, no, we are passing, that's fine. We are moving into the placement step. Yellow will be first. Yeah, I think let's go for a partnership. This gives you some meeples and gives you some gold. And yeah, you can place your house there, which is also worth some victory points at the end of the game. Red will go for a politician, and we might want to consider doing the same for the blue player. Blue will also go for the gala honoring to get a politician. This costs you $3. That's definitely not cheap. We place that into the tower, and yeah, it's definitely cost you some points, but yeah, you might be able to do something with that. Then it's back to yellow. And why not do a roadwork? So basically the infrastructure action. Red will play with the market demand. And I believe blue wants more workers. Does he? Does he want to have more workers? Or do we want another manager? No. Let's place this guy here. Let's go for another manager. I think he can afford that. Yellow will go here, and basically all of the other players will go there too. Right now I think the turn order won't change, so again blue will be last actually, so we can place those guys like here. So yellow on top, red and blue. And that's pretty much the end of the placement. Let's resolve those actions, starting with the infrastructure space. First of all, yellow will collect some coins. He desperately needs some more coins. Yeah, absolutely. Then we will place a roadwork, and I guess we will do that up here. Again, we get a coin from the blue player because he has a partnership here, and then he also gets another coin
from the bank. So I think that's good for the sake of having some more monies, and that's already the end. In theory, he could protect his road work. That's interesting now. I think he will wait. And oh, one thing I nearly forgot actually. It's the factory worker here. I forgot that. Once per round, that's beginning at round 1. At stage 2, we already we're basically in the income step. We collect 1 coin and 1 strike. So again, she always has a strike handy. So we will give that to her accordingly. And then it's her turn here. So we were here, right? Exactly. Then no workers. Yeah, no workers. We will go to the market demand. So she will spend 2 coins, and those 2 coins will go to the tower. Keep in mind, that's 2 victory points right off the bat. Then she gets another purchase order. Never a bad thing. And on top of that, she can now change the market demand for 3 by 1 or 2 notches. So up to 3 market prices here. Of course, she doesn't really remember all the resources she has, so I think she will now focus on the resources she is going to sell. So I guess she will move this 1, 2 spaces down here. So this is now a 5, the base price, plus the 1 here. So this goes back up to 6. She can do that for other prices too. What does she still have? Now you really have to be careful. I think she will meddle with the yellow price. I think yellow price was here, so she will move it down to a -2. So that's now 2 is the base price, plus the 2 down here. So yellow just decreased significantly down to only 4. And she can do that 1 more time. Is there another color she's not too concerned about? Yeah, maybe red. Red will also go down 1, 2 spaces. So that's now base price of 4 plus the 2 down here. 4, though that's only a 6. So that can be a very, very mean actions for the other players. And that was that. So we are moving here to the partnerships with which is the yellow player. So yellow simply gets 2 coins right off the bat. He also can collect a yellow little worker. And then we can claim a shop. And he has some choices now. So in theory, he could go here, and it's not maybe the greatest shop, but he could still benefit from his road work up there, because then he would also still get the money. On the other hand, going here is likely because this is a high value commodity actually. So maybe that's also cool, but this is really immediate money, and maybe that's the better deal. Yeah, let's go there. So he will make a partnership here. Each partnership is worth points anyway. Now he would gain a coin from the new owner. So that's himself. So he takes 1 extra from the bank. So in total, he receives 2 more coins, aka victory points for that. I think that was not bad. Then it's the gala honoring. Red will be first here. First of all, she has to spend 3 coins to the tower. So going to the tower action sooner or later might not be a bad thing. And then she can either claim 1 or 2 politicians, or can immediately claim some of the awards down here. So we really want to make sure that for example, you will be first here for those workers. This gives you, if you have the majority of workers at the end of the game, you get 8 more coins, for example. Or if you have the most shops over here at the left-hand side of the board, that's 12 points, and the second place gets half of it. So in this case, you could also directly go for some of those awards, but later on you can always move down to the awards anyway. So I think having a politician out is also not a bad thing. So let's do that. And I believe she will go for this politician up here. You have to have more than 0 coins. This is what this means. And if you want to use the politician, you also have to meet the requirement up here. So basically more than 0 coins. So she has to show that she has at least 1 coin. So oops, here's a coin. So she has successfully shown that. At least this is how I understand it, that it's really clear that you have to have it when you use it, but I understood from the rule explanation that you also have to meet the requirement when you actually claim that politician. That's how we played it, and that's how it makes sense to me. Then we have the blue player. He will do the same, so he will spend 3 coins to the tower. It's really a lot there. He definitely has more than enough meeples, although the meeples here on the board do count for that, so I think there is no reason not to go for the the easy ones, so the low-hanging fruit. And I think this was the gala honoring action. Yet again, we are moving to the standard delivery, and yet again, yellow will go first. Again, I'm now considering to do a takeover or not, but I think the better deal for yellow is to move here. Again, we forgot to protect. Sorry, I really do apologize. I keep forgetting that. We really should do that before the delivery starts. But it's the first turn of the game of this delivery, so I think that's still fine. So he will protect one here, and I think he will also place one more dude up there to the roadwork. So those are now protected. He will now move down here to the orange space, I believe. Yeah, there's really nothing he can do about that. So he will sell 2 cubes. Again, brown can be sold anywhere for 5. And this is still worth 8. So that's 13 coins. I think overall that's still not bad. There are no additional benefits you get for that, but that's at least something. Not a bad turn for yellow. And in theory, we could have used this. I think let's do that. He would have placed this guy up here to the roadwork because he knew nothing would have happened up there. Then it's the red player who can make a delivery, and I think yellow, yeah, apparently she made a lot of movement to adjust the pricing here, so I think red will move up here to this space. So she will sell 2. She will spend 2 of her purchase orders, which allows her to sell even 2 more of those. Yeah, those were the purchase orders. And that's 6 times 4, so that's 24 coins. You must be kidding me. So yeah, she's really doing exceptionally well. Wow, what a turn for red. Amazing. I think before we forget, she will also place her strike. She knows blue has the politician, but now she makes blue make use out of the politician. So that's the reason why she will place it up here. On the other hand, she could also decide to maybe put a strike down here. She doesn't really know what blue is about to sell, but I think, no, let's go with a steel factory. I think that's fine. Again, he will take care of it anyway. So I think making sure he's using the politician, I think that's the better deal. And that's a delivery step for red over to blue, and for blue it's really not great, but he will sell something here. He could still do a takeover. No, he cannot, because he has assigned those guys. I think in this case he could now take meeples doing the delivery when it's your turn. Yeah, I think he could now use his, of course. You can, when you do a delivery, you can take the meeples from anywhere you want when it's your turn. So you can do, but again, in this case, they're all protected, so there's no use. The only thing he could take over is the roadwork up there, but he will also give her... also give her an immediate coins. I think that's also not great. No, I think he will make the delivery here. He will sell 2. Yeah, that's a measly 10. That's really not an awful lot. I was really hoping to get some more cubes, but that's about it. I mean, overall, that was not terrible, but also not really great. And we haven't seen a turnover. That's really embarrassing. But I think we will see sooner or later, as soon as we maybe start seeing some tracks. So that was the delivery. We will move over here to the senior manager. So we are in round 2, which means if blue wants one, he has to pay 5 coins. Those go to the supply. So yeah, let's do that. So we are putting this back, and this gives him her 4th manager. But again, you have to pay the manager, and you cannot place him right now. We are now only resolving those guys. And before we forget, he will now use his politician. You still have to show that you are meeting the requirement. Again, he has more than enough workers here. You can take them from anywhere. Keep that in mind. You don't have to spend them, only to have them. And again, this allows him to remove this strike from his factory. But again, this is what red wanted to do. She gets those strikes for free anyway. So I think he might want to make blue use his politician, so he's not getting any extra income. And again, that's already the end of the round. So we are moving into round 3. I think let's do one more. I don't. Maybe we can really play it to the bitter end. Actually, it's you see, it can be really fast actually. So again, we will roll for the market adjustments. I will to do that completely off camera now. Okay, and those are the new prices here. And one thing I totally forgot, of course, this +2 also counts for the brown die here. And I believe at least yellow and or red or blue have sold some extra. So they might have taken at least 2 more gold. Not sure where they have sold that, but I know for a fact that yellow sold something down here, so I definitely awarded yellow 2 more extra coins from the last round, because it would have been a +2 down here anyway. So though sorry for that. And yeah, but this is really this confusing piece about the pluses and the minuses. Again, if every space would have simply a clear die, then you would miss that, but that's on me. Those are the new prices. I will now also replenish the containers. So that's the offering for the upcoming round. Then we will move into the income step. Now blue will get the extra cube for his steel factory up here. So let's see, that's a brown one. I take that. That's definitely not bad. And we are now dealing with the politicians, which means blue gets to make a choice if he wants to recharge his politician for spending 1 coin. And I think we will do that. This coin goes to the tower too, so that's definitely important. Yellow is already charged, so she simply gets 1 coin for that because she didn't use a politician. Again, that's never a bad thing. And on top of that, she gets another coin and a strike for the factory worker. So this is really a powerful card. Again, it doesn't feel broken, but it's very powerful. You really have to make the best use out of your cards, apparently, in order to maximize the output. Nice. Let's do the bidding, and I think I will do the bidding now off camera, because yeah, it's really not a lot of fun bidding against myself, and I have to think about these things a lot. So we'll be right back in a second. So here are the 2 winning bids for the red player. She paid 10 for each of those. Was definitely not terrible. Then we have the blue player. He paid 11 for those. Not quite sure if this was the best deal or not, but we will take it anyway. We will try. And he got the blue ones for an 8. I think that's not bad. I think he bet 9 and then he got this reduction, so he got this, and they all got 1 extra cube for each 1 auction down there, so they all paid an additional 2 per crate accordingly. Then we are moving to the assignment phase here. Again, yellow is first, and he needs to go to, I think he needs to go to politician space. Yeah, you want to have at least 1. In theory, you could also, you could have gone for 2 politicians. Oh, that's the one piece I forgot. Oh, I'm really bad at this game. Of course, you can do that twice for each time, but we actually felt maybe only allowing this once was the better deal, and I think that's why I didn't do that. I think in our last game we said, okay, let's only go with allowing to get 1 politician per action you are going there. You still have to pay for that. It's still expensive, but really getting those politicians is usually a good thing. So yeah, let's maybe not forget about that. So usually you can do that twice. I think red really wants to have some workers. Blue will go to the air freight. Yellow really needs some more managers here. As of round 3, they only cost you 2. Still, the income has to be paid, but that's okay. In round 4, then 5, by the way, you get some money, and you can also sell someone for 11 coins. That's really huge. So if you want to give up one of your workers, you can get a lot, or managers, you can get a lot of coins at the end of the game. Back to red. I think she wants to do the same. I believe blue wants to deal with the market demand, and then I think the remaining players, so basically yellow and red, will go here for their standard actions. But keep in mind, blue has still 2 meeples because he went to the senior managers a round before. So in theory, it might be a good idea to go here. I think he get the coins back. I think yes. Yes, he will go to this space. Might not be the most meaningful. He could also go to the gala honoring here again. Interesting, to get some more politicians out, or he could go for another truck sales. But he's really, no, I think let's show you the fundraiser. That's usually a fun thing to do. And maybe he wants to do stuff. And then with his last remaining worker, he will also go to the standard delivery. If he really wants to go first, by the way, there is the express delivery where you can spend 3 coins, and then you can do the delivery action pretty much like you would do that here. But here you really make sure you are going first, for example. And but spending 3 really has to make a hell lot of money to go there to make it worthwhile. And in theory, he could do that. In theory, come on. Just to show you, just for the laugh, let's go here with the express delivery. So he will go first before the others here. Amazing. So let's trigger those actions. We will start with the air freight. First of all, he will get a coin. He will get a purchase order. Never a bad thing. He will also get a strike. He can place the strike at any point he likes. I think let's do that now. He will, I think, yeah, let's put the strike next to this shop up here. So he cannot sell anything to this space right now. Then he can do this down here. So we will exchange 1 cube with one of the containers. I think, yeah, he will place 1 brown cube here to grab the red cube. I think that's okay. Theory, he could still buy a cube from the supply for the base price, and maybe he should do that. Actually, that could be worth it, right? Yeah, he will spend. No, we only can buy from here. We can sell to the supply, but we buy from here. So do we want to do that? No. Then in this case, we will also forfeit our second action. So that's that. 1 and 2. We will move to the workers here. So red has to spend 3 coins. And therefore she would get 3 of her workers. I think these are the first 3 workers she got. She can place them right now, and maybe she will do that before she forget. But again, she can do that later, but let's try not to forget that before the delivery phase. There is a delivery exit. No, I think she will now place those 2 workers to protect her road work up there. But let's also not forget to give her 1 cube. We will place that behind her player screen. Then again, we will deal with the market demand. So he will have to spend 2 coins into the tower. I will do that off camera because I only have a tenner right now. Then we get a purchase order. That's definitely helpful. I'm not sure if I can use it right now or not. And then we can meddle with up to 2 prices. And I think 1 price will be this one by up to 2. So does it matter? No, 1 and 2. So that goes now from to a 6 plus 2. So that's now 8 worth. I think that's definitely cool. And I really apologize that I forgot to mess with these prices before. We can still do that 2 more times. And I think what price is good? I think he doesn't like the purple price, so he will definitely make it drop. So that's now again back to a 2. Oops, where's the 2? Oh no, 2 plus 1, so that's 3. That's always the minimum price, is a 3. We can do that once more, and I think let's also do that 1, 2 here for the green. So 4 minus 2 is 2, plus 1 here, that's also 3. Pretty terrible for the other players, but that's life. Let's do the market delivery. Unfortunately, we are not placing this into the tower. This simply goes to the bank. And now we can either do, again, basically do a delivery action, or we could pretty much draw 4 cubes out of the bag and keep 1 of those. And this would have been very nice, actually, if I would have thought about this, sending 1 here to get extra cubes, and then with the second meeple go to the standard delivery, for example. In this case, I really wanted to show you the express delivery. Really not playing well. It's just for you to demonstrate the game. So in this case, again, before the delivery, we could have reassigned all those meeples. And right now it's pretty boring. All of those shops and roadworks are protected. So I might not be able to show you a takeover, actually. So because usually if those guys are not protected, you can really send a truck in with some guys, for example. Let's say this one wouldn't have been protected. So blue could move over here with 2 of his guys, or one of his guy, and then one goes away for taking this over, we would replace the partnership here, for example. Easy as that. But in this case with 2, because you have to send more cubes, more workers than they have workers, you can only put 2 workers on a truck, so that's not gonna fly. So that's really bad. So we are moving down here to this space to make our cell. So we are basically giving 1 red and 1 brown. So that's 9 plus 8. That's 17. Because we have a purchase order, we will do 1 here too. So that's 8 more. That's 25 quid. Awesome. I'll take it. Definitely a good turn. Apparently, don't forget, we have spent 3 in order to be allowed to do that. But he had a feeling that he might have to spend some stuff in order to get rid of that. So, but that's okay. He got 25 bucks out of this. And in theory, now it's basically the end of his turn. I think he also wants to protect the red space because that's really a valuable resource. So he will put a strike on his own shop here. How cool is that? So this is now put on strike, which means no one else will be able to sell that here. In theory, he could also do that here, or maybe, here or here. No, I think that's the most, but he gets some money here. No, I think he will place the die here. So if someone comes here, he will at least collect some money here too. I think let's place the strike here on the L1. Apparently the other players can use politicians, for example, and whatnot, but at least they have to spend those guys. This was the express delivery. Let's move to the gala honoring. Oh, that's pretty amazing because we might be able to take that money. So he will spend 3 coins to the tower in order to place up to 2 politicians. And really, again, I do apologize that I forgot that. So in this case, we keep it consistent, right? So we are not cheating. Again, keep in mind we could have done that twice for each of those, so maybe it's already full down here, but you are not losing this action because you can always still place a disc here, or you can send it directly down to the awards later on to really block your space there. You really want to be present on these awards, because if you're not present, you're not eligible, even if you are the leader in workers, but if you don't have a disc down there, you don't get anything. He has more than 0 shops apparently, so he will go here. So that's the yellow shop. Doesn't really matter if it's on strike or not right now. And he could now decide if he wants to use the politician in order to break that strike. But I think I have to do some thinking about that. Okay, that was the gala honoring. Now, before we move into the standard delivery, usually we ask, okay, anyone wants to move their workers around? If you're familiar with the game, then you really don't ask, but in this case, let's play fair. Let's see about that. Do we want to move some workers around? I don't think we do. No, let's maybe. No, we can still do that afterwards. So we are moving into the standard delivery. Red still has a meeple, but I think the meeple, our worker, is not any good for her. So she also doesn't reassign one. Blue is pretty happy camper too. So no, let's start with the delivery. It's only yellow and red in this case. And yellow really wants to sell here. The problem is there is already a truck. So now we really have to reassign some stuff. So I think he will now take his truck. He will load 2 guys onto this truck, or 1 guy. Let's place 1 guy onto that truck. Doesn't matter. So he will move in here. In order to get rid of this truck, he could now use his politician, or he could use this worker. And again, to make things a little bit more interesting, he will now use the worker. So this worker goes back to the supply, and this allows him to relocate the truck. And I think, interesting. He needs to go adjacent somewhere. They're both on strike. Doesn't really make a lot of a difference. So I think let's move this guy over here, blocking this space here too, maybe for the red worker, and then he can sell stuff here. He will sell 2 red cubes. He's getting 18 bucks. So let's see, 18 bucks. That's 16 and 2 more, because blue has basically a partnership here. He has to spend 1 of these from there, and blue gets 1 extra coin from the bank for this purchase. But still, that's not too bad for the yellow player either. Those go back. doesn't spend any purchase orders over to red. And she was really not happy with this result up here. So she's really pissed. So she might now want to consider maybe taking over this road work here or so, just to pay back. On the other hand, she really needs some money. So I think, yeah, we have to send her down here. She will sell 2 of the orange resources for 12 measly dollars. So that's really not great. So she was doing much better before, but that's okay. She will again use her strike again on the blue player who messed with the prices. So again, he has to spend or use his politician in order to get rid of that strike. Those go back to the back. And I think that's pretty much the end of the delivery phase. So we're moving to the senior managers. Yellow has to spend 2 coins in order to get her 4th politician. She still has to pay for that during the later upkeep phase. Keep that in mind. Blue will do this. Red will do the same. Also only paying 2 coins for that. And then we will move to the fundraisers. Now again, blue could decide to take an extra action by spending 2 to the tower, or he can simply take the contents of the tower. And I think this is what he wants to do, just to show you for the laughs. So let's see what's in here. Oh, that's very nice, actually. Wow, a lot of coins and a cube. Okay, I already forgot about that cube. I think the first time when yellow was going there. Wow, that's a hell of a lot of coins. Oh, that was definitely a good decision going there. Cool job, blue. And I think, again, he will use his politician to get rid of that strike here, and that's the end of the round. Those are the new prices. So we definitely, orange really improved. So red is really mad now. Let's move to the income. Blue gets a cube for his steel factory. That's a brown one. Okay, I take that. That's for sure. We get a strike and a coin for the red player. Also never a bad thing. And each of the players now has to spend 2 coins for their managers. I think everyone wants to hold on to that. Yeah, I will also do that off camera. Yellow and red both get a coin. Blue has to spend a coin in order to reactivate it. He goes to the tower accordingly. And that's pretty much it for the setup. Yes. These are the cubes for this round's auction. And again, I will do the auction off camera now. And believe it or not, the only player who placed something here was the blue player, the yellow player for these blue boxes here. I think this makes sense. And he got it for 6. And he also bought an extra cube for 2 because for him that's worth an extra coin anyway, so it's never a bad thing for him to do that extra. And that's pretty much the end of the auction. Let's move into the action. And that's now really bad for the blue player actually, because yellow will go here, most likely going to sell one of his managers, and this might be the manager here for 11 coins. I believe red is doing the same. Yeah, I think that's 11 coins each. That's a no-brainer. Just for the laughs, blue will go for the infrastructure. I think that's the first time he's using that space, actually. Back to yellow. He will definitely go to the market demand here. Yeah, that's really crucial. And I think just to show you, it's really a very bad decision. Red will go for another partnership. Just want to show you a takeover. That's why I'm doing this. Usually it's a very bad turn. And blue, how does he want? I think, yeah, why not? I keep forgetting that. Blue wants to go for another politician, apparently. And maybe, yellow might want to do the same, actually. But where would we score best? The trucks, maybe. The shops are actually pretty good. And the roadworks, but that's both blue or that's really terrible actually. So do we want, I don't know if it's worth it, but let's go for another truck sale. I don't know if it's any good, but red will take the starting player and blue might want to go with another set of workers. Yeah, why not? Now that yellow will be, red will be first. yellow might want to consider going for the express delivery instead of the standard delivery. Otherwise, he will be last again. Oh, that's now a good... Ooh, that's tough, actually. It's very tough. What do we want to do? Do we trust that everything will be all right or not? And I believe I forgot to remove the strikes here from the board, by the way. That should happen at the setup or during the stage 2 of this round. So he could go there. He's going there. Express delivery. No, I think he feels okay. He's not spending any money. He will simply go in here. Then it's red. Ooh. It's now tough. I think she definitely wants to deliver stuff, but where does she want to deliver stuff? Does it matter for her, actually? But yeah, she's really out. No, I think she wants to go first. Oh, she is first. So what am I talking about? So she will also go in here. So that's fine. And blue. Blue. Maybe blue wants to do stuff. Yeah, why not? For the laughs. Let's go in here. Okay, let's resolve those actions. So red will be the starting player. So he will take this big one here. We have to place a cube into the thing. Does it matter? I don't know. Which cube to go for? I think we will go, with this blue cube. And therefore blue will also get 2 purchase orders. I think that alone is definitely helpful. Then we move over to the infrastructure. So blue will collect 3 coins right off the bat. He's really rich. But again, money is victory points. And then we can place a roadblock. And I think, with the road contractor, we basically get a free placement here. Nice. Where should we place this? I think, let's do it like this. So first of all, he gets a free worker from the supply to place it next to the roadblock. So this is not secure right now. So anyone with 2 workers could take this one over. But we will get 1 coin from the yellow player. And 1 coin comes from the bank again for this business here. So that's already, I think, 5 points that he gained. And then we are moving over here. So blue has to spend 3 coins in order to gain 3 workers, and we get a cube from the back. So let's see what this is. That's a green one. Green is okay, I believe. I think that's not terrible. Yeah, that's that. We will move to the market demand. And I have to apologize because I was basically away since I recorded the last round. So I'm not 100% sure what I was planning here. So might have to consider things a little bit. So anyway, he will spend 2 coins to the tower. Yellow will also get a purchase order. That's good. And then we can mess with the market prices up to 3 times. So we will definitely do blue. So that's good. So that goes from 3 to a 7, I believe. Where's the 7? Oh, that's really a strange die. And that's that. We have still 2 more to go. Is he going to sell something else? That's interesting. I don't know actually, but I think let's make the prices. I think we will change this pricing here down to a 0. That means this gets a 4, a measly 4. I think that's okay. We have 1 more to go, and let's go with the orange to -1. So that's now a 4 plus 2 because that's where the shop is. So that's 6. Okay, that's pretty mean actually. So then we are moving to the express delivery for the blue player. So first of all, we have to spend 3 coins. Those go to the supplier, but no one went to a fundraiser anyway. It doesn't matter what I'm putting into the tower and whatnot. So again, I could go for these. I mean, these are 6 points if I'm not going here. But I think this is my only delivery this round. So I think, let's go for it. And again, I'm only doing this in order to show you how it's done. So blue is now making an express delivery, and he wants to also take over this roadwork up here because it can give you some points at the end of the game. It can. So we are moving up here. We will also load 2 of our workers we just gained onto our truck. This looks really nice. First of all, we can basically sell some. What I think the takeover in theory is first. This is adjacent to the shop, which allows us to take this one over. One goes away in order to neutralize this worker here. So they basically go both back to the supply. This worker has to go away in order to recolor that one. Also goes back to the thing. So we have now pretty much established a new roadblock. The problem now is we are not getting this bonus here again for taking this over, only when we're really doing new partnerships down here, or if the partnership changes, then we will get something for that. Anyway, next we really want to deliver something, and we are delivering this to the pawn shop here. In the pawn shop we pretty much get the base price +2, but then we get an extra one here. So I think overall that's never a bad thing. I'm selling 3 because I still do have 1 purchase order here. And yeah, let's do it like this. So that's a 6 and 6, so that's 12 plus 7, that's 19, and we're getting 1 extra. That's a specialty, I think, for the 2 or 3 player game. So overall we just made 20 bucks. I think that's not terrible at all. And again, we have taken over this thingy there. Okay, that was really not a bad turn. It still cost you 3 in order to get first for the delivery action. And now we are exiting the express delivery. So I think I will spend one of my meeples to protect this roadwork at least once. Let's see about that. By the way, there is a strange little rule around penalties and reparations. So whenever you're throwing your player screen over, you have to spend some money to the supply, and there is a reparation. So anytime takes over an opponent's partnership or roadblock, that opponent has the opportunity to say his character's slogan out loud, and that's pretty much something that's also printed here, the backside of those, and we don't play with that. I find this ridiculous. Doesn't really is a lot of fun. In theory, yeah, you can opt to simply give this guy a consolation prize of $1 from the back. We are not playing this way. I mean, we are all adults here. So we are not playing with any slogans. For me, that's really not fun. So we are not giving any money to the yellow player. That's about it. And here I was actually thinking about doing something very, very tricky, but it's the last round of the game, so I'm not sure if it makes any sense. So I was really going to pretty much buy a truck for $6. Also getting 2 workers. I think the 2 workers could be maybe beneficial, and maybe we should do that in the end. So maybe that's not that bad of an idea. Then I can also show you something. Yeah, it may not be the best move, but let's go for it anyway. So he will spend $6, so he will go for this action here. $6. He also gets 2 workers for that, and this gives him the second truck. Each truck is again worth 3 points at the end of the game, but he just paid 6. So I think overall you can make the math, but there is more he can do with that. I mean, the workers alone are definitely useful. So again, in theory, he can do that. He can sell the truck, but let's not do that. So we will move 1, 2, 3 spaces here to the Gala holding. I think red was first here. And luckily I noticed, or I remember, that red was here, not here on the Gala holding. I think when I put the book here, the rule book here, that I shifted this over. No, red is here. So we have to stop at the partnership, which means red gets 2 more coins for that right off the bat. And then we can place 1 partnership. And it's interesting now. I think we definitely do not want to give any money to other players. So let's place 1 of her buildings here next to the orange space. I think she still has a worker. So yeah, let's try to protect that as much as I can. Yeah, we might lose it, or red might lose it. So that was now pretty much the action. Now we are moving to the politician. So we are spending 3 coins, goes to the tower. We can still claim a politician. But I think let's directly skip that, because later on those discs come from the politicians down to the award. Basically at the end of the game everyone can do that, but we are doing this in turn order. So red could be first, and it's blue. I think he's not losing anything, right? No, I think that's fine. We can still claim a politician up there. We clearly have more than 0 roadblocks, so that's okay. Now we're moving to the standard delivery. Now red will be first. In theory, she could now also try to take over stuff. I mean, there's still a roadblock, so she could take those guys off. But I think let's not do that. Let's keep our truck here. Where we are selling these 4 cubes. Keep in mind, she got 2 of those purchase orders. This allows her to do that, and she gets an extra 2 because of her partnership here. So that's 12, 22 plus 2, $24. I mean, that's also not terrible. 4, so she's really making some really good money over there too. Those actions are pretty much gone. That was her only delivery. And by the way, in theory, if you have more than one truck, and let's say you are really a little bit more diverse in respect to colors, you can send one truck here and one truck there, and then you can pretty much distribute your selling point. It's still a maximum of 2. It's not 2 per truck, it's really 2 plus any purchase orders. But in this case you can also block spaces, for example. That's something that usually happens a little bit more often when you play 5 or 6 rounds, and you really will see a little bit more interaction between those players here. Next, it's the yellow player. I think we also don't see any, I think we could still take over stuff. I mean, this is still tasty, but there's nothing serious he can do down there. That's now really, I think he can make more money here. Yeah, let's send the truck up here. He's going to sell 4 blue cubes with 2 of those purchase orders. So yeah, wow, that's 28 points if I'm not, or 28 coins if I don't correctly, plus the 2 because he's owning that, or he has a partnership with that shop. That's 30 points in total. So wow, that definitely was a huge turn for the yellow player. Good stuff. And we are not done yet, because we are moving here to the senior managers. Basically yellow can sell one of her managers, so he goes away for 11 coins. So, and the same is true for the red player too. So I will do that mainly off camera, doesn't matter too much. So those are out of here. And then it's pretty much the end of the game. Now we can still move our politicians down. So basically from here down there, and it's only blue who has up to up there. Again, normally this would look a little bit different because, I played this somewhat incorrectly. This is kind of a house rule. We are messing around a little bit. Yeah, we will start with red, who is the starting player. So she takes this politician and moves down here to one of those awards. Of course, you have to make an, let's say, somewhat educated guess on where you think you are first. This is definitely common knowledge. This is common. Basically, all of those are common knowledge. This, not so much, but it's also doesn't give you the most amount of victory points or coins for that. She can count the shops. Right now, she only has 1 shop. She had lost 1 roadblock, right? But she would still get 2nd place. So I think red will send her disc here. Then it's blue. He has 2 and he can assign them both. Right now, I think he's in the lead in respect to stores. So he will go here and he will go here. And then last but not least, it's yellow. I think yellow could still go for a 2nd place here, which is still 6 more coins. He could not go for the majority of workers. He could still come in 2nd, but the 2nd is only 4 points. Here it's 6 points. Again, 2nd player always gets the half of those points. So yeah, I think he will go here for 6 points. So let's do these awards. Again, we know the drill. So here it's 12 points for blue, 6 points for yellow. Here it's 10 points for blue. He has 2 roadworks, whereas red only has 1. It doesn't really matter who goes here first. because it only guarantees you a place on the stairs here, because again, even you basically only qualify for this award here. So yellow couldn't have gone here, for example. That's definitely something where timing is definitely of the essence. So if you would just want to block someone out, which is allowed, if you know yellow will score 10 points here and both see that, they could say, oh, we don't score that much here, but we can deny 10 points to the yellow player, then let's totally go there, despite the fact we are not getting any points out of this, or let's say fewer points out of this. Okay, I think these were all the awards. Again, I will assign those. No one went here. And then we do the final scoring according to this one here. So for every shop you're getting 3 plus, or any bonuses you might get. Workers and managers aren't worth anything. The trucks are worth something. The crates are worth something. The strikes, the purchase order are still worth 2 coins. So that's at least something. And yeah, the roadblocks are also worth 3 points. I think I will do the counting now off camera. And that's the end result, actually. So we have red player with 67 points. Blue was the winner. Cool stuff, Marcus. That's 94 points in total. I think he was very effective in respect to the buying or the bidding, actually, in respect to the auctions. And he was kind of lucky to get the right resource. But yellow was also not doing bad. I think 81 point is also not really terrible. Of course, I also added the volumes, and again, especially during the last turn, I did not really play accurately. I think he shouldn't really go for this yellow truck. Instead, he might have sold the yellow truck. This would have given him 6 more coins, for example, plus a strike. I also forget to place a strike, so maybe red should have basically taken out the shop from the blue player. Then he would have been able to leverage the politician in order to remove that strike. So overall, not a big deal, but that's pretty much the end result, and that happens when you play against yourself. Apparently not a great experience. One thing that I totally forgot and promise you to show are those stocks. So anytime during your turn when it would be time to place your manager, you can pretty much, let's call it, pass with your manager placement and instead go for a stock. So you buy this stock, this costs you 3. You can trade it at any time for the early trade value. Normally the early trade value is lower than what you paid for, or if you keep it to the end of the game, it's worth 5 points, and they really can have crazy amounts. For example, here this costs you 16. If you sell it early, it's 15. So really out of money and you need this, you can still go for it, but it could guarantee you +4 gain here for those end game values. The same is true here, 20 and 25. So that's pretty much, and then you're not losing that manager, you're just skipping one pass. So maybe someone could take over a spot that you would wanted to go there, and then if it's back to you, you can still place your manager, but then maybe the most ideal action would have been gone. And that's pretty much how you're playing free market. Sorry for all the goofs, but there's also a lot going on in this game, especially if you have to think for 3 players at the same time. So mainly I really miss some of those pricing cubes. So maybe 1 or 2 of the other players might have 1 or 2 more coins, but in the end it didn't really affect the game a whole lot. Of course, the politicians is something, maybe there might have been some more awards down here, but I think it also didn't really change much. Maybe blue, if he would have placed 2 politicians each, he might be really present on 2 more, so he might have even made more points than he originally did. So I think overall it didn't really change the final outcome too much this way. And again, this was one of our house rule retry, and that's why it stick to my brain there, where we said let's try to only allow 1 placement per action you go there, especially when you're playing with 5 or 6 rounds. That's how we felt. In the 4 rounds, I think that's okay, you can place it there, but in the 5 or 6 round games, I think this might be really a little bit too powerful, and that's how we played it, and it made sense for a longer game. I really hope you enjoyed my little messy playthrough of free market. In the end, I did show you the complete game. I think that's still worth it. Again, it's a hell of a lot of fun. I really enjoy this game a big deal, especially after I've gotten behind all the rules and whatnot. It's in the end, really a simple game, really cool, but has a lot of, let's say, take that and negotiation power without being too punishing. Really, that's how I feel. Nothing that you can do is really completely annihilating your opponent, for example. So that's what I really like about this game. Yeah, the artwork, there were some comments. Maybe not everyone's taste for what it is. I think I really like it that way. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. It's a free review copy. But really promise you I enjoyed the game. It has some ambiguities in the rules. That's definitely the most critical part about this. So if you really reading through it, you think, okay, maybe it's clear. Then you read some of the examples and you start asking yourself, oh, what did they really mean? Where was that written? But in the end, it's really, really a relatively simple game with which still offers a lot of depth. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And yeah, until then, bye bye.